I think whether or not you think God would want us to riot depends very much on your definition of God. So you could think of God as a being or as being itself. And if you think of God as a being, maybe Old Testament God comes to mind, right? God had a personality in the Old Testament. He got so angry. I mean, how many times did he kill people? There was the whole flood when he was like, forget the earth. I'm starting over. Like so many instances of this, like very angry, vengeful God, right? So like New Testament God is a little bit different. You know, he sent Jesus, but we see even an instance of Jesus, several instances really, of Jesus being big mad. And I mean, we could consider it to be like righteous anger. The stories of Jesus going into the temple where people were selling stuff in the temple when this is supposed to be a place of worship, and him just like beating people and driving people out of the temple because he's so like appalled by the way people are treating a place of worship. If you've ever been to church, I mean, there's like good energy in churches. So for rare occurrences, for extreme, injustices, righteous anger may be justified. I think anger is supposed to propel you to do something, to help make something change. The way that we've been seeing in the news recently, and I really haven't even been watching the news recently. I know of some things happening, but I don't know all the details because empaths drain. There's enough happening in my personal life. But when people are protesting or rioting, I think those are two very different things, right? Protesting, I mean, do they look the same? I don't think they look the same. I think the intent is very different for people who are rioting versus people who are peacefully protesting. Like two different things. Is there such a thing as a violent protest? Or does a peaceful protest turn into a riot? I don't know. When there are clashes with the police, like there are all these things happening. I think because of the way that I view God, right? I'm more of God as being itself. That there is no man in the sky who is telling us what we should be doing. There's no man in the sky who has a personality and feelings and gets offended. Like those are human things. And I think I like to say our understanding of God is like an amoeba's understanding of humans. We really just can't fathom it. But my time communing with God, energy, I would say everything is happening as it should in life. The good, the bad, things in life happen as they should. And if you've noticed, I like history a lot. If you go back in history and you think about where it is the human race has come from genocides, I mean, there's still some people in genocide, but there's no scale of what has happened before when it comes to genocide of certain groups of people, when it comes to slavery. We see now like a lot of problems with child trafficking, like all these things, but nothing is really on the scale that it was in the past. The number of people dying in like wars and such is nothing like what it was in the past. We have newer, different kind of issues. And I really think, one day the human race is going to be so evolved and so at peace. But peace and evolution is always precipitated by like clashes and conflict and anger and riots. So would God want us to riot? I don't think God really has wants. I think God is the universe experiencing itself. I think God, universe, spirit, being, is liking the way things are unfolding, is allowing things to unfold as they are, because we can only grow as humans. There really is not a going back to the way things were before. Maybe in like another 500 millennia, we'll cycle back around. But for right now, I really think everything, every negative thing that you can think of that's happening right now on Earth, including like the pandemic, it's helping us grow and evolve and learn things about ourselves. Like personally, I've learned things about myself, and it's helping us learn things about other people and how the world works and what's really important in life. So protests, riots, They are. It's going to happen. Anytime there's like these sort of injustices happening, racial and cultural, all these things happening, there are going to be people who rally up and they say no. And anger and violence, just looking at history, have been some of the greatest change makers in life. You can take that for what it is. I really like to acknowledge that we are evolving in my personal life, the people who are learning more about race, about family, about like the deeper things that are really, really important. And each one of us who's evolving helps to make the world a more evolved, a more enlightened, a more beautiful place to live. So do your work in like your personal life, because that's it. Like, be the change you want to see in the world. And then you won't really have to worry about the other people over there doing what they're doing that may not mesh with you. Just like focus. Focus on you. Focus on you. You get good with you, and the vibration of the whole world elevates. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, share this video to someone you think might like it, and thank you for watching.